Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 411, recorded on January 26, 2023. On tonight's episode, we talk about several news items we got this week. Actually, some news things, guys. We got SteamWorld Dig, Telegraph special broadcast to talk about, Developer Direct that Xbox did, and we talk about a few news items around the Nintendo Switch increasing production, that type of stuff. Jesse, you know what to do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Marty here. You're listening to Nintendo Dads. I'm excited to be back. And yes, as Tim has already said, we have a bevy of news for you this week on episode 411. It's January 26th. And as we speak right now, people around the world are partying like it's 1999. That's right. They're playing GoldenEye on the Nintendo Switch online expansion pass Nintendo 64 app. Justin can't be here with us tonight, but we do have our usual cast of characters minus Justin, Tim Off, and Jesse Waldack, including me. Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been an interesting week of new items going on in my family and stuff, so it's always good to come back here and take my mind off of things and talk about video games. Even though I have not been able to find time to play much.
Video games, yep. It's a wonderful. They're wonderful things. I'm just now noticing if I don't know if your screen is organizing this in the same way, but I'm in the middle picture here. Jesse's on my screen. It's stacked, so Jesse's the top spot. I'm in the middle. Tim's on the bottom, and both of them are wearing orange, and I'm wearing blue. I feel like I didn't get the message or the memo. I don't have anything here in my near vicinity that's orange.
We're in a Marty sandwich here. We're the cookie top and bottom, and you're the filling.
My shirt is supposed to be red. It must be weird. This weird lighting in the room.
Yeah, it's not, because your background has some red in it, and it is not red. It's orange. It's okay. I may just be colorblind.
No, it does look orange on the screen. I agree with you. But it's not an orange shirt.
Jesse, how you doing, buddy? Besides having a red, not orange shirt.
Frustrating week, with the GB Interceptor project. I've been trying to put things together. Still haven't found hardware right to put the case together. So I did break down. I didn't want to do this, but you can see there. So I picked up an empty Game Boy shell just so I can put the thing in so I can test it out. This one still doesn't work. So I'm getting close to the point where I might just abandon this whole project. And, I'm still going to try. I still have plenty of PCB and parts to try to solder this on. I just have to be really careful with the solder. Use very small amount, because if I use too much, I'll cross the pins, and that's not going to make it work.
You'll cross the streams. You don't want to do that.
You don't cross the streams. Definitely don't cross the streams. Well, we're
Marty?
I'm good. I'm good. I mean, it's been no. Actually, here's the thing. It's been a really good week. I'm back in school. Semester has started, so busy with that already. And playing some video games, not necessarily on Nintendo systems. We'll get to that later on. And I know, but and like a majority of the free world, I've been watching The Last of Us on HBO Max. So
yep. Once football's done, I'll start watching that, but I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet either. That's something I do want to watch.
Yep. It reminds me, and I'm not without giving anything away at all. It reminds me, the feeling that I have about the show reminds me of the early days of watching The Walking Dead, where it was just like, man, I can't wait. Sense. I can't wait till next week. Toward the end of The Walking Dead, I was like, oh my, please just end it. Just be done. And I hope they don't do that with this show. But
yeah.
It's like Aaron and I were talking about it the other day, and I was telling her, I was like, there's only 2 games and like a prequel episode that comes with the part 1 remake. So
Yes.
I really hope that they don't like go extracurricular material, kind of like The Walking Dead at the end was so weird because it was like it did not resemble the source material really at all to me. So but that's we're not the we're not the Walking Dads, we're the Nintendo Dads. I don't even like walking. So let's talk about video games, shall we? We've got tons of news this week, so let's dive straight in. Our news each and every week is brought to you by you over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. You can join up and become a patron, or as we like to call it, a friend of the show. We wanted to use the Ninfriendos. Well, that's already been taken. We wanted to maybe we at one time we wanted to be like, you're part of the family, and it's a little mafia for us. I don't know, like it's really hard to like name people who are part of a group or something without sounding like a weird cult or some kind of terrorist organization.
Yeah, I suggested calling them children, and that didn't sound right either.
Yeah, since we're the dads and they're the children, that's weird.
It could get scary.
Yeah, it could get scary. It's like, these are my children. Yeah, but anyway, go over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. You can become a friend of the show by donating or pledging $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, or $30 a month. Like our good friend Jacqueline, who is one of our brand new Patreon producers. She was on the show last week, did a fantastic job. We're thankful for her being the second female to ever guest on Nintendo Dads. And by the way, someone called me out when I said that we had not had, we were only going to have 2 female guests. And then they said, did you forget about Sega Moms? I don't know what they're talking about. I've never heard of Sega Moms. I don't know what that is. Do you?
I think someone hacked our show that week.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, even if they did, if you just do the intro, it doesn't count. Anyway, we love our patrons. We love our friends of the show. So head over there, get access to our Discord and all that fun stuff. We would love to have you over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. And when you do make a pledge, I'm going to say this for those of you guys who are already pledging or who are about to sign up. Patreon has recently made it available for us to be able to charge you on the date that you sign up. Okay, as opposed to the first of the month. There's gonna be a post made tomorrow. It's going to be sent to your inbox as well, that we are making that change before the end of this month. And so basically what that means is, instead of being charged, on the 31st or the first of the month, and everybody doing that, if you signed up on the 5th, that's when you'll be charged for your patronage. If you signed up on the 20th, that's when you'll be charged. And so it's a little more user-friendly. It's a little more easy to understand. And so we're making that change. And I guess this would be a great time to talk about another change that's coming to the show as well, that's going to affect everyone, not just our patrons. Starting next week with episode 412, we are moving forward recording on Thursday nights by an hour. So if you're watching us and it's Central Time and we begin at 9 p.m., starting next week, we'll be beginning at 8 p.m. Central Time. And actually what's going to happen is we're going to begin our pre-show recording at that time and then go live at the bottom of the hour, like at 9 or 8:30 Central Time is what it'll be. There's just, guys, when we started this show, actually, let me just say this, when Jesse and Zach and Justin started this show, circumstances were different. Kids were younger. Bedtimes had to occur before podcasting could happen. Since then, cast of characters here on the show has rotated a little bit. Justin's kids have gotten older. My kids have gotten older. We're getting older. And so we like to, I would like to think about maybe, going to bed on podcast nights somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10:30. And so that's
still not going to happen.
It's probably not.
Yeah,
It's
I would say
probably
good luck with
not.
that.
But it gives me the option.
11:30 is probably more
Yeah,
likely.
probably more likely. But it's just going to facilitate things a lot better for us as hosts. And we hope that you will understand. We still want you to come and hang out with us on the show as we record, and the show will still be in your podcast audio players every Friday morning when you wake up. So we're going to be ready for Friday drive time or Friday listening relaxation time, just like we always are. Date of recording is not changing. Date of posting the podcast is not changing. We're just moving our time of recording forward an hour. And that begins next week with episode 412. So there you go. All right. Let's dive into some Nintendo news. I think the biggest news of this week probably is a release, and that is GoldenEye 007 is now available for Nintendo Switch Online subscribers who have the expansion pack. It became available about 7 p.m. Tonight, which is Thursday, the 26th, and already online is flooded with people posting screenshots of it being on their Switch and being, them playing it, and first and foremost complaining about the controls if they're not playing with the Nintendo 64 controller, and just general reminiscing. Guys, I wanted to take it back to the very first release of GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64, and I was going to look here and see actually what the release date was. August 23rd, 1997. This game dropped. I remember playing this at my 18th birthday party. People gathered around the Nintendo 64, fighting over who could be Odd Job first, right? And just having an absolute blast. This was probably the very first really successful multiplayer shooter, or commercially successful multiplayer shooter.
That wasn't on PC.
That wasn't on PC, right? That it just blew up. And I really don't know anybody who is our age who has really anything bad to say about this game. Well, I mean, now it's like, well, it's a little dated or whatever. But I want to go back to that time. Did you play GoldenEye when it first came out?
Yes. Yes, I did. I played it when
just yes.
No, I thought you were going to reply too, Jesse, but yes, I did. I played it. My friend had the N64. I did not. I chose the PlayStation 1, and I think I've talked about this before. But when Nintendo 64 came out and then the PlayStation 1 came out, I chose PlayStation 1. And he got the N64. So when we were at his house hanging out, it was to play that with a group of us, him, his brother, and anybody else, and myself. And then when it was at my house, we were playing Twisted Metal or, Tekken or whatever on the PlayStation. So, but yeah, that was my introduction to it. And I loved playing that game, even with the weird controller, because that controller was weird. So putting your hand in the center of the controller to move it around, but it was definitely new. And definitely I was at a disadvantage because I didn't own the game. I couldn't get used to it to where somebody who owned it and played the single player campaign, you get, that muscle memory and get to play it. So I got my butt beat every time I played. But it was fun. It was a fun, hanging out and stuff like that. So
Yes,
what about you, Jesse?
I also had it when it was new. I tried playing it in single player. My history with shooters. I didn't get very far, so I never did finish it. But back then, the apartment complex I lived in had this large room that can be rented. I don't think is the right word for it, because I don't think it actually cost money outside of just the cleaning deposit. And if we didn't make a mess, we got it all back. But it basically, it was a room you can use, you can schedule use, that had a large projection screen. This is still before HD, so this is 480i or 480p projection. But I rented that room out a few times, hooked up the N64, and brought some friends over, and we played 4-player on 100-inch screen. I don't know how big that
That's
thing
awesome.
Wow.
was,
That's awesome.
and again, I imagine I was lousy at it because I'm not good at shooters, but it was fun. I remember having fun with that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, are you excited about revisiting the world of GoldenEye? Are you ready for this?
Not at all.
I am
Are you
super
at least
excited.
Jesse? Are you at least going to try it?
I might. I don't know. Yeah, I probably will. I do have
He's
the
gonna rage
N64
quit.
controller. Yeah, but I don't expect that I'm going to get very far, even on the low levels. It's just
No,
because I don't like shooters.
when I fired it up before the show, it was just I fired it up, seeing what I could do with the Joy-Con controllers, and I could do nothing, except get shot, because it was like none of the controls map correctly when you're using Joy-Cons. At least it doesn't. Something's not right. Something's off. So I have to mess with that a little bit more. But when I plugged in the N64 controller, it definitely controlled better, but it was still me trying to get used to the inverted controls. So, pressing up goes down, pressing down goes up, and all that kind of stuff. So it was very my brain couldn't wrap around it for some, because I'm old. So, but anyways, it was still fun to be able to fire that up, and I want to keep trying to go at it and see if I can get the hang of those particular controls and play it, or even see if I can map them to how I would want to play it. But it'll be interesting to see.
You know, what I think is interesting is I didn't realize this at the time, but now I saw it in a tweet earlier this week before the game released that GoldenEye is or was, I think, the first shooter to have twin stick controls at the time, because you can map the controls to use two Nintendo 64 controllers using the left stick to move, or the left controller to move and the right controller to control your view, and using the Z button on the back.
Okay.
For things. It's bizarre, but I have two Nintendo 64 controllers for Nintendo Switch. I'm going to try this. I want to see if it works and see how
it does
works.
with the Joy-Cons. It's hard to explain because I just touched it for a moment, like I said before the show. So, but the Joy-Cons are doing just that, but but
they're really not, because when I was playing it handheld, the left stick moves and looks, but the right stick looks up and down.
Yeah, that's what the normal controls do.
But not when you're in the two controller mode. I think the second one allows you to actually control the looking around. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
I will probably get actually on this, and that's okay. It's just, I think it's incredibly unique that there's, like you mentioned with widescreen, right? Mm-hmm. That there's a ton of stuff that developers of this game were thinking about way ahead of time.
Right.
That now is just accepted, right?
And that's the other thing that's it's kind of annoying, is that we can't use the full Switch screen to play that game because you have the N64 cutoffs on the side. You can't play it in widescreen.
Yeah.
So does that mean it's only widescreen on the Xbox version?
No, it's actually widescreen in that squared window.
Yeah,
well, it's got the black bars on it. So it's like,
so the game is still 4:3, but it's black barring it to get 16:9.
Yes.
Oh God, that's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah. So, and we got a few comments here too about the game. It's Hambo and Johnny was saying shooting with ZL was breaking my brain. Skinny Matt was saying I have not much interest either, except for crushing my son. But I read on Twitter the Xbox version doesn't have achievements.
That's really bare bones over there, for real.
Yeah, Wario 64 posted that the achievements aren't showing up yet, but they will, and you will still earn them.
Okay.
And I linked his tweet in the chat.
Cool.
But if it doesn't pop up and make the sound and show when you're doing it, did you really do it?
Does it count? Really?
Does it count? No.
You don't get that brain blast.
You don't get the dopamine, right?
Yeah, right.
With all the things that I would want, now, it's still really cool to see it out here. It's out. A game that we all wanted to see is out on NSO. Things that we wanted to see in the virtual console, we wanted to see this in virtual console. It wasn't there. So to finally have it here is really cool. Yes, are there things that would be nice to have? Of course. But
do you think that there are at this point, I know that the other obvious shoe to drop for Nintendo 64 is Smash Brothers, right? And that's more than likely. I know it didn't get shown off, but it's coming at some point, more than likely. I think they would be silly not to do it. At this point, do you think there's any like this was the last game, right, that was shown off in that initial blast of, hey, Nintendo 64 is coming to Switch?
GoldenEye wasn't shown in the first.
Oh, that's right. GoldenEye was Banjo and Wave Race, I think,
that's
were the last ones.
Yeah, that's why I predicted last year that this would happen, and because
we still have like Mario Party 3 and 4, right? Those haven't come out.
Are 3 and 4 coming? I don't think they got shown off.
I thought they did.
Maybe they did. I don't know. They all those Mario parties blur together. I guess what I'm saying is setting up to ask this: do you think there's anything like any more surprises that we're going to get? Like, I would love this opens the door. Kind of. I know that this was a licensing nightmare, but it opens the door to Blast Corps and maybe even Diddy Kong Racing and Jet Force Gemini, all the Donkey Kong 64, which has already been on Virtual Console, by the way. So
I'm sure there's surprises.
Yeah, I mean, I just wonder what else is left at this point. And when are we going, when this well runs dry, are we getting another system? Or are we getting nothing?
There's the potential of maybe another publisher allowing some of their N64 games to come. I mean,
obviously, it's got to be.
Found an article from that was posted 3 days ago on Destructoid with the N64 games that have been announced that aren't yet out. And Mario Party 3 is in there.
Okay.
Mario Party 4 is a GameCube game, so that's not coming. But the other games are 1080 Snowboarding, Excitebike 64, Pokemon Stadium and Stadium 2, and Japan only Harvest Moon 64.
So those are definitely announced. Those are coming.
Those have been announced.
Okay. So one every 2 months or so gets us through the end of 2023.
Yep.
Counting GoldenEye in that list.
Right.
So that was the first.
So you're saying we're not going to see the next one until March?
Probably. I would not think so. What I think would be really good for them to do, if they want to do it that way, is to alternate N64 and Genesis releases, so that you've got N64 1 month, Genesis the next, N64 1 month, Genesis the next. Because we still don't have Sonic 1 on the Sega Genesis app. It's not there.
I don't think that's coming because of the other games.
The Arcade Archives or Sega, what's it called? Sega Ages.
Yes. Or Origins, because of Origins.
Oh, yeah. But then why is 2 on there?
Multiple times.
Anyway, so that's go play GoldenEye. Go experience a bit of video game history.
And give it time to learn the controls.
Yes. Yeah. Give yourself some grace there. While we're in the pocket, let's talk about some other game releases before we move on to other news.
We got rated by Andros. Thanks. Yeah.
Hey,
and Micah Prime.
Nice. Love it. Thanks, guys.
Andros said they just got done with GoldenEye Online too. So
see, there you go. Be like them. Be like the cool kids. Go play GoldenEye. couple other game release things here that we want to talk about while we're in the pocket. Right now, until the 29th, Uno is free on Nintendo Switch. So if you're a Nintendo Switch online subscriber, you can download the full version of Uno, and you can actually get 100 platinum points via this as well, just by launching the game and then going over to the NSO app on the front page of your Switch. You can get 100 platinum coins pretty easy there. Also, Power Wash Simulator is out next week on Nintendo Switch. And guys, 2023's Game of the Year has arrived already. Power Wash Simulator is here to rescue you from the doldrums of Fire Emblem Engage and all kinds of other crap like that. If you are looking for a zen, wonderful dad feel, like this is the most dad game that has ever come out on Nintendo Switch. Here it is, Power Wash Simulator. You got to go play this game. I'm serious. Nice. It's so good. Also announced this week, Life is Strange 2 is coming to the Nintendo Switch next week, February 2nd. And Zablanc is thrilled and ecstatic for that. I actually picked Life is Strange 1, the remastered version, back up tonight and started playing it on the Switch. I'm excited to start doing that. And then PS5 launch title, The Pathless, makes its way to Nintendo Switch next week as well on February 2nd. If you're a fan of free running or parkour type games, I'd keep an eye on that one. I think you'll like it. Also this week's Thunderful held their latest SteamWorld Telegraph special broadcast and announced SteamWorld Build, which is coming to PC and consoles in 2023. There is a demo available right now. Where else? Steam. I think that's kind of funny that the SteamWorld Build game is on Steam. Yes. But they also announced that 3 other SteamWorld games are in development, and the additional SteamWorld Telegraph presentations will be released as more information is available. And the big news coming out of this as well, or actually coming out of Twitter post Telegraph, is the CEO and founder of Thunderful and the SteamWorld universe announced that Nintendo guru himself, Bobby, is going to be an NPC in the next SteamWorld game. If you guys remember, Nintendo guru lost his battle with COVID, or passed away due to COVID complications from COVID back in 2021. We did Gaming for Guru a couple of years in a row to raise money for his family and raise money for charities that Bobby would have played for. Bobby was a huge SteamWorld fan. He loved this world. He loved these games and these characters. And I think this is so super appropriate to honor his memory. And I love that it's happening, that finally we're seeing Bobby get recognized in a game.
Immortalized.
I can hear him. I can hear his laugh, and see his face. Like that's getting announced to him.
He actually is in another game. I think he was in Flipping Death. He's got a portrait in Flipping Death somewhere, if I remember correctly.
That's right. Tim, you played SteamWorld Build. There's a video of it on our channel. But just if you can, real quick, while we're right here, what did you think about this game? And kind of explain it for listeners who haven't played it yet.
Sure. It's a city builder. And it's one of the things, if you watch the Telegraph, is what they do with a lot of the genres that they tackle when they're building SteamWorld games around these genres, is they go back to the basics and the fundamentals of that genre. And they certainly do that here in SteamWorld Build, because I like a good city builder. I try out a lot of them. And sometimes they don't stick because either they make them way too complicated or they don't make it as easy for me to be creative in it. So SteamWorld Build, at least in the demo, and again, this is just the demo. It's not their final build, as they say in the demo itself. But in the demo, I played it from the start, 2 hours on stream, in which we have it, you can rewatch it there. And then after that, I couldn't put it down. I kept playing it until the demo ended, because the game, one of my all-time favorite city builders is SimCity on the SNES. And because of being able to spend hours there, gradually learning the mechanics of the game, Nintendo has always done well with training its players on how to play their games. So that's what they did with SimCity, or Maxis did it, or whoever worked on it for Nintendo. And with Nintendo's input, because of course they had to put their input into it. But anyways, I digress. SteamWorld Build takes those basics and gradually carries you through understanding how to build your city and so on and so forth. And there's even a story behind it. So I really enjoyed my time with it. I can't wait till this game comes out. I went through the demo, which took me a while because of just trying to look at every nook and cranny and trying to figure everything out. So it's probably a good 5-6 hours, but I think you could probably finish the demo in maybe a few hours, at most maybe 5 hours. So there's a lot of content there. There's more I want to learn about the story that's going on back there. So I can't wait till this comes out.
Well, and one of the things that I think was unique about this is that, if I'm correct, because I've not played the demo yet, you could correct me if I'm wrong on this. You're not actually just building a city, you're also building a mine beneath it.
Yes, thanks for calling that out, because that was the other part that's unique about it for me. It was like, if you go to a lot of other city builders, or even city builder, and no matter where the environment is, you're placing things to collect resources in a lot of cases. And a lot of those things just automatically collect those resources, to where when in this game, when you put down something to collect a resource, at least for mining, you actually go down underground and actually city build the mine, using city building mechanics. Essentially, you're building the mine and using mining fundamentals as well, because you want to make sure nothing's going to collapse on your workers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that is the one unique part about it, is that one of the resource tools is mining, and you actually have to manage that as well. It may seem overwhelming, but it wasn't. They gradually get you to that point, and then once you're done learning the basics of the city building above ground, then you get to the point of mining and learning how to set up your teams and your camps down in the mines for mine building, which is really cool. So, and your goal in the mine is to find relics of a past community that used to be there and figure out why they left. So there's a story there, kind of like there's a character in the game that's kind of sus as well. So and you're like, what's going on here? There's a couple characters that are kind of sus. So yeah, it's very interesting.
I haven't played the demo yet, but now I think I should probably give that a look.
Yeah, it doesn't dig into the story too much because it doesn't want to give a lot away, but just enough to where you're like, okay, that's interesting, and then it cuts off at the end of the demo, and it's like, thanks for playing. You won't find out more about the story until you play the real game.
Yeah. And then in the presentation, they did say that all of the SteamWorld games are in this a continuous universe. So this is pretty much a sequel to Dig 2. Because it's at the end. This may be spoilery, but they said it in the show, so I'll say it here. At the end of Dig 2, it was basically an old Earth, and the game ended with rockets lifting off, with people leaving the planet to find a new place to live
because it blew up.
Yeah. So this is
I mean, and that's where SteamWorld Heist came from.
Yeah, I think SteamWorld Heist. Yeah, I think that might be after this. I don't know where it fits, but it's definitely after Dig 2. But this is basically the story of one of those ship's settlers making a place to live.
Yeah, so when you're playing the game and you're familiar with the previous SteamWorld games, you'll have fun with that and getting some, Easter eggs from those. And even if you aren't that familiar with it or not familiar with it at all, it's still fun to figure out what is going on in the story and why are these couple characters acting sus?
This reminds me that I need to finish SteamWorld Quest. Never finished it.
Yep.
So
I did finish it. I just because that was like what 2 or 3 years ago, but I forgot pretty much everything about it.
Oh yeah. But anyway, SteamWorld games always delightful. So be sure to go check those out. Check out Tim's Let's Play over on our channel. If you're interested in this, it looks really, really good.
It's under the live section because that's
yeah, he did it live. Yep. Also, this week, Xbox and Bethesda held the very first, very suspiciously named Developer Direct, in which Xbox and, Microsoft showed off or updated fans on some new titles. This is relevant for us because at least one of these games is coming to Nintendo Switch in Minecraft Legends, which got a release date of April 18th. It was also revealed that cross-platform multiplayer will be a part of Minecraft Legends. And as of today, you can already pre-order the game on the Nintendo Switch eShop if you would like to be a part of that.
You mean it wasn't Redfall coming to the Switch? I thought it was Redfall.
Yeah, right. Or Forza.
Right.
Although I will say the Out Today game that they had, Hi-Fi Rush, looks amazing. I've been dying to try it, and I'll probably dig into it this weekend. It's
Same
like
here.
rhythm-based. I don't know what kind of game it is. It's a rhythm game.
When they described it, it brought nightmares back from when I tried playing Crypt of the Necrodancer. So I'm nope.
It gave me Elite Beat Agent vibes though, so yes. I thought that was cool.
I thought of that as well.
Like a cross between that and what was that other game, Overdrive, that they had on the Xbox?
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Couple of Nintendo Switch news items here, at least as far as the system goes. Bloomberg is reporting that Nintendo will reportedly increase Switch production in 2023. And if you're wondering why, our good friends over at My Nintendo News gave some reasons. Number one being that Nintendo is convinced that this is possible to do now that supply issues and shortages are starting to cease. Also, Nintendo Switch has been the most popular selling console 5 years in a row, almost. And so the precedent is there. Excuse me, for the demand. The demand for the console is still strong, and they expect demand to stay that way at least for another year. Because guess what, guys? Tears of the Kingdom. Going to sell a lot of Switches. Also, of note, the company's prepared to revise its plans in the event that demand unexpectedly wanes, since they didn't really provide any numbers. It's just, hey, we're going to increase production. So that could be that they're going to increase production by like 2 Switches an hour. Who knows?
Next week, their Q3 numbers should be released. They'll probably have more information with their expectations at that time.
And expect those Q3 numbers to be pretty good. I'm calling for pretty good numbers.
I'm curious at where the Violet and Scarlet lands.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to see software sales. Mario Kart 8's back on top because of Christmas.
It never left.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be even more like, it's the gap. The gap is going to widen between it and what was the number 2? Was it Smash?
No, Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing. Yeah, nobody cares about Animal Crossing anymore. Unless you're playing Animal Crossing hard mode. I don't know. Also this week, Nintendo, it was announced per Go Nintendo that Nintendo has patented a new image processing method ahead of Tears of the Kingdom that in particular is for, quote, an image processing method for expressing objects with transparency with a low processing load. In other words, it seems like Nintendo felt like it was a good idea to come up with a solution for making the display of transparencies in games less taxing on the hardware, which to me says clouds. Clouds. They're trying to make clouds look better.
Yeah, they don't want it to make. They don't want them to look. They don't want it to look like N64 fog.
Yeah, no. Maybe this is the technique that they eventually applied to the Nintendo 64 emulator to clear things up. Who knows? But
well, the N64 fog was there for a reason.
That
isn't really relevant anymore.
Speculation is that this is because of Tears of the Kingdom and lots
Friendo
of
says cloud gaming.
Yeah, it's definitely for cloud gaming. You heard it here first. So that's out. That's coming. Our last little bit of news here is for Splatoon 3 fans. The next Splatfest was announced today as well. It's happening February 11th through the 13th. And it's all about chocolate in honor of Valentine's Day. You can be Team Milk Chocolate, Team Dark Chocolate, or Team White Chocolate, which means, yes, you're going to be shooting brown and white colored ink again. Yeah.
But I like
maybe I don't know. I mean, like the colors for the teams were different, so maybe
I like
not.
milk chocolate shells with white chocolate centers.
Well, I am Team White Chocolate all the way, and I know. Yes, go ahead and tell me all you want that white chocolate is not real chocolate. I don't care. It's delicious. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. I would rather do that. In fact, if you like. I got some of those for Christmas as well.
I love these things.
You know what? I got some prior to Christmas. Sam's Club had a big bag of those that were snickerdoodle flavored. It was white chocolate with cinnamon cookie pieces in them.
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
those are delicious too. And then for those who aren't watching but they're listening, this is the Lindor milk with white filling. So milk with white milk chocolate truffles.
Yep, absolutely. So you go pick your team. That'll be up here in a little bit. And go Team White Chocolate.
I'd pick dark chocolate because it's delicious.
It is delicious, just not as much as white chocolate.
Purple or Lou says, whoa. I wonder why.
I don't know what's.
I don't know.
Nothing is comparable to dark chocolate.
Well, okay.
There you go.
I did buy some dark chocolate this weekend at Trader Joe's that had coffee in it. And it was wonderful. It was like coffee flavored chocolate. It was so good.
And Friendo says it should have been chocolate versus hard candy versus beaver nuggets.
I would, Team Beaver Nuggets. It better be Big Man because he's my boy.
Yes.
If they were going full Valentine's Day theme, it should have been something like chocolate versus flowers versus cards. The best way to express your love.
I like that one. That one.
People like chocolate, so it's okay.
People want the fourth option that isn't appropriate for our show.
Lingerie
or other things. Sure.
Just saying,
we'll let John and Drew talk about that.
Yeah, and speaking of things that may or may not be appropriate for the show, now it's time to head over to an ad break from our friends at Manscaped.
Breaking news, Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right, they are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger for Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard look. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to the manscaped.com and using code NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping. Remember, that's NINDADS for 20% off and free shipping. So it's time to tame your mane. No one likes a weird beard, so say goodbye to all your stubble trouble with Manscaped's Pro Beard Kit. It all starts with the Beard Hedger, and which I have, which you won't be able to see, but I have one too. I still have to open up and we'll use to help trim my beard. We each got a set to try out. So looking forward to that. And of course we heard, if you haven't seen it in their video on YouTube, Justin also received a kit to help tame his mane. You know, he's got so much on his face. He's got to take care of that. So they sent him a kit too. So don't forget that the beard hedger, just like their other tools, is waterproof. So you can shave in the shower to avoid all that hair in the sink. The titanium coated T-blade is tough on hair, but smooth on your face, leading to single stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. The Pro Kit doesn't end there, though. They have created 4 dermatologist-tested formulations for your post-trim care. First, there's a beard shampoo and conditioner. You need to remember all your hair is different. Your beard hair is more coarse and easier to damage than the hair on your head. That's why the kit has made shampoo and conditioners specially designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, replace natural oils, and promote beard health. Next, the kit has Manscaped Beard Oil, an essential piece of your main facial accessory. No one wants a guy whose beard is brittle and dry. The oil relieves dryness both on the beard and the skin beneath, while adding a little shimmer and shine, making you look extra fine. Cap off the kit with a beard balm, a pomade that shapes, styles, moisturizes, and tames for a sculpted look to attract any fellows or dames. The Pro Beard Kit also comes with 3 free gifts: a beard brush, comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. So get 20% off and free shipping with the code NINDADS, NINDADS, at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Manscaped Beard Hedger, 1 stroke, 1 guard, 20 lengths.
You know what that sound means? Spooky rumor time. And Tim, this is one that you actually, I think, are going to be willing to talk about. Rumor has it that MercurySteam is working on another 2D Metroid game currently scheduled as a 2025 release.
Yes. I'm kind of mad though, because
why?
When that story broke, it was like, now I'm not going to be as surprised like I was when they dropped Metroid Dread, you know? But also too, it's like, here's a thought I had as well when you shared this news article. I was like, okay, that's awesome. That makes sense, you know? So if Metroid Prime 4 drops this year or next year, then 2025 we get another 2D version. That makes sense. That's kind of like what they've done in the past. But I wonder,
it's just a lot of Metroid.
It is a lot of Metroid, but I also wonder.
Not that I'm complaining. We need a lot of Metroid.
Which is, we could get more, because it made me wonder if MercurySteam, in order to get their feet wet on the 2D side, that they maybe reworking Samus Returns from the 3DS to bring it to the Switch. And then we may get that this year, Prime 4 next year, and then the new 2D one in 2025.
See, and I think that's valid. But what I was actually thinking of is either a Super Metroid or Metroid Fusion remake in the Dread engine.
Okay.
And out of those two, I honestly feel like the more likely of them is Super Metroid. It is I would say, out of all the 2D Metroids, is probably the most beloved 2D Metroid. Yeah. And that would make sense as to like for them to redo it, because it was such a big deal and has been such a big deal in kind of like the Metroid canon. It would, and it would pair well with a release of Metroid Prime. So, I think that, of course, I would love all the Metroid games to be on Switch.
Yes.
Just all of them. You don't even have to remake them, just port them and put them on Switch so that I can play them.
Like the Wii U used to be the one-stop shop for Zelda games.
Right. Yeah, I would like to be able to play it easily. A lot of those games for sure. Especially like watching you trying to play a lot of those when we were waiting for Metroid Dread to come out, and you were trying to like fire up some things to be able to play it again.
Now, like Zero Mission and Fusion, I don't think you have to do a lot to them. Zero Mission is the definitive version of the original Metroid.
Yeah.
You don't have to fix it. It's so good. Fusion Fusion and Dread to me are the perfection of the Metroid family.
Yeah,
like
Fusion is my favorite of the
franchise. It's like it can't do any wrong. But I would love to see Metroid, Super Metroid redone, because going back and playing it, there are a few things about it that once you play Dread, Samus feels so fluid. It feels so responsive, and then you go play Super Metroid, and it's like she's like a tank,
right?
Like
yes.
It's like, why did you make this choice? And then like halfway through the game, you get enough upgrades that it feels like you're actually able to like flow with it,
right?
Like you are in Fusion and Dread. I would love to see it all redone. And Tim, if it's Samus Returns, fantastic, because it was awesome too. It really was. It reminds me that I need to go back and play through that one again, because like when it came out, I devoured it. It was in a weekend. Like I remember it coming out on a Friday, and I beat it on a Monday afternoon.
I remember you doing that.
I need to go through it again and try to, I did start trying to go through it again back when, like, on the road to Dread, but for some reason I just it wasn't clicking for me like it did the first time. And maybe it was just I was so hungry for Metroid, anything back then, that I was just like, I have to have this right now.
Right. I do like what Nefrendo was saying, the 2D Metroid trilogy. If Nintendo was willing to do that again, put 3 games into one game and release it like they did the Metroid Prime trilogy, that would be really cool. Whether they call it a 2D Metroid trilogy or the Metroid handheld trilogy, to have Zero Mission, Fusion, and technically, and Return to Samus.
Technically, you do have Super Metroid on the Switch.
Yeah, because of the NSO.
That would be great. That'd be smart. Please do more Metroid. But I go back to the statement of the guy who is like the Metroid head, like of Nintendo, like and him saying, like, around Dread's release, this is the end of the Samus story, or like the Metroid story. We'll see Samus again.
Yes. And even at the end of the game, it says, if I remember correctly, it says Samus will return, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it does. It does. But I mean, like, are we far enough away from the game now for it to not be spoilers? Probably. I mean, it's been a year.
Let's talk about something else, but we'll ask the chat. Can we spoil anything on Metroid Dread?
I was going to ask a question without spoiling anything. Will this be a game set after Dread that takes into account
what happens,
the side effects of what, or post effects of what happens, will it be a prequel-ish game? Like, I've always wanted a game of her, like, actually as a kid learning with a Chozo.
That would be great. That, like, a prequel game. But I also can see
like
them
the Bayonetta Origins. They could do a Samus Origins.
I kind of like. I can see them.
Nintendo in the chat said Metroid Origins just now.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, like, without spoiling it, then let's just say this, because the way you said it, Jesse, is fine. Like, I can almost see them working that side effect or whatever into the move set going forward, right? Like making it a game mechanic.
Like, and it takes up energy to use it or whatever, and makes her weak if she uses it.
And so, like, I can, but you have to, like, there's a risk versus reward type thing. It's kind of like like in Mega Man 11, there's the gear system. You have your energy for that, and you can use it, but it eats it up pretty quickly. But it does give you a benefit. You have to use it.
I was going to say, like, even there are times when you have to run in through an overheated room and take damage just to get to the other side. So
Yeah.
kind of like a more severe version of that.
Yeah, I could see that. I would love. Give me all the Metroid prequel, set in the middle, whatever. I don't care.
Yep.
Give me Samus.
But I do agree that it would be nice to see quality of life stuff added to a Super Metroid with say the dreaded graphics. I would
leave the Emmys
and
out
just
of it.
And just the hanging system, right? Like just the climbing system or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like the way that they could integrate that into that game and open up areas. Oh my gosh.
Kind of like what they did Zero Mission, you know? It's like you played the same.
Yes, it's like a whole new game.
But you still open up other areas that you didn't experience in the first original game. So
and they did it so well.
Yes.
Well, that's our rumor. Hey, let's play a game. All right. Let's try a new little segment here on the show.
Speaking of Metroid.
So booting up the eShop tonight, I noticed that the Nintendo eShop right now is it's a mess. All right, it's probably in the worst state. Just speaking honestly, it's in the worst state it's ever been. There is just like we've started out. Ended the year and started out 2023 with just like the worst amount of shovelware possible. And I guess it's there to separate stupid kids from their money. That's all I can think it is. It's like people got gift cards for Christmas or whatever. And so we're going to put this game on sale that's like, puppy and kitty time or whatever. I don't know. But I ran across some games, and we're going to play a game with our chat, and you can play along at home if you want to. And we're going to play a game called Game or Not a Game. All right. And so I want you to tell me, I'm going to read the title of a game on that could or could not be on the Nintendo Switch eShop, and you're going to tell me game or not a game, and Tim and Jesse, you can play as well. All right.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Round one. Chat. You get ready. You playing at home on the audio version. Get ready. If you shout your answer into the void on Friday, I'll be able to hear it. All right. Well, it's proven. So here we go. Here's the first one. Game or not a game. World War Battle Heroes Field Armies Call of Prison Duty Simulator.
You said duty.
I did. So let's give the chat a minute here. World War Battle Heroes Field Armies Call of Prison Duty Simulator. Game or not a game?
See, Nefrendo says sure. Purpler says way too long. And Presto says game, and Miz says not. So got about 50-50 there going, right?
Okay. It's about 50-50. So that's a game. That's a real game on the Nintendo eShop.
Nintendo says, so dumb it must be.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Next round. Here we go. Round two. Game or not a game? Monster Impossible Truck No Limit Adventure Drive Simulator Sport 3D. Game or not a game?
The last one was a game and it was long. This one, I think you're trying to throw us for a loop. So I'm going to say it's not a game.
I think that 3D just put it over the edge.
to game or not a game?
To not a game. It was good up until then, but no.
Purpler says it's not. Miz is cracking up, so he can't answer yet. He says not. He or she. I actually don't know if Miz is or he or she. So they. Nefrendo says nope. So 3 people are saying nope.
Everybody has said no. There's 5 no's.
Purpler says it is.
Okay. That is a game. That's a real game on the Nintendo eShop. right,
5D is a game. And Miz says, I'm a man.
All right, here we go.
I'm a man, man.
We'll do three more. All right, so here we go. Round 3. Ready? This is since The Last of Us is so popular right now. Here we go. Game or not a game. Infected Run to Survive. Zombie apocalypse survival story. Shooter dead cry.
I think you just put a bunch of words in a generator and spat it out. I'm going to go with no again. That's not a game. That's just too many.
I said it before last year with that Oni game that I don't like it when the same word is in the title and the subtitle. So just because of that, I'm like, sure, I think this is the game.
Okay. So 50-50 on the show here. What's the chat say?
Presto says not a game. Purpler says, I don't know anymore. And Miz says the same. I don't know anymore.
All right. The result is that is a game on the Nintendo eShop.
Nintendo says, was that 3 games in one?
No, that's one game. It's one game. All right, here we go. Round 4. Change it up a little bit here. Game or not a game. Counter bottle shooter. Pro aim master target bottle shoot 3D game strike pistol.
Totally game. That's my guess. Totally.
Yeah, I have. At the end of this, I'm going to ask another question, but I'm seeing a pattern here.
Chat got any ideas?
All right, chat says not a game. Presto says not a game. I think they're all going to be a game, says Mecha Dragon. Purpler says they are trying to get all the search words in. And yes, that is correct. All the SEO words.
The answer is that is a game.
Ninfrendo says you're reading the description, not the title.
No, it's not. No, that's not the description. It's the title. And just for kicks, here's the last one. Round 5. Here we go. Game or not a game. Air Jet Fighter Combat Europe Fly Plane Attack.
It is a game by the same publisher who made all the other games you read off.
Okay, that was actually my question. Are all these games from the same developer?
Well, is it a game or not a game, Jesse?
That's my theory. Is these are all games from the same developer / publisher?
The answer would be yes. This is a game, and yes, all of these games are from developer VG Games and released within the last month.
Video game games.
Video game games. Let's see. World War Battle Heroes Field Armies Call of Prison Duty Simulator came out on the 5th. Counter Bottle Shooter Pro Aim Master Target blah 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 came out on the 20th. Infected Run to Survive Zombie Apocalypse Survival Story Shooter Dead Cry came out on December 29th. I didn't read these. There's actually more. They also publish this one, Drone Race Simulator, Pilot Flight School Airplane Games Jet 2023. Came out on December 22nd.
The comments are crazy now.
Here's the last one. Car Parking Madness School Drive Mechanic Car Game Simulator 2023. That came out on November 28th. And then Monster Impossible and Air Jet Fighter Combat. Air Jet Fighter Combat Europe Fly Plane Attack actually comes out on the 2nd of February.
$2 Hero says, I do love some video games.
What if it's video games? Video game games.
Yeah, video game games. And Purpler says,
Presto asks, how much are these?
$5 each.
Yeah. And then Purpler asks if we can play them all a lot on stream.
You know what? I'll tell you what. If let's see, 5, 10. No, one of them's $4. So
yeah,
and one's $6.
Yeah, but most are $5. Yeah,
$20.
the $4 one. The $4 one came out last week.
Yeah. So for $30, I can play all of these games. Or no, I'm going to say this. For $30, Justin can play all of these games.
Our official game sampler can sample these
He
games.
can sample all these games. Guys, I think we should make him do it. He's not here to say no. I think next
Justin
week,
has volunteered to play these games for our community.
he's gonna start.
Tell us all about them.
He's gonna start with World War Battle Heroes, Field Armies, Call of Duty Prison Simulator. Oh my gosh! You know,
these all just Unity store flips.
I don't know.
Wouldn't surprise me.
This says the description for this game is even better. A game in which you can get acquainted with the hardships faced by soldiers in a world war. What?
How do they know?
Seth said this is an Extra Life donation incentive. Every dollar adds a minute to his playtime.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we may wait for Extra Life for these, because guess what? By that time they'll have more.
They could be on sale too.
Yeah. Well, guys, that concludes our segment, Game or Not a Game. Let's talk about some events.
All right, everybody. So our events are what I remind everybody about. Basically, it's our Discord community events, and it's about the table. We have our breakfast tables, which is every second Wednesday of the month, which the next one is Wednesday, February 8th at 9 a.m. And then we have our dinner table, which is every third Friday of the month, Fridays, February 17th at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Both of those were set at Eastern time. So to join the table, if you are a Patreon or a Twitch subscriber, join our Discord call on either of those days and times to join in on the fun. Simple as that. And then we have other Discord community events and stuff like that I'll be bringing up in the community side. But that's the main thing. That's it.
Awesome. There's no Poke Minutes this week, so it's time to talk about what we've been playing. Shall we? Well, Jesse, you know what? You've got the shortest list. So we're going to let you go first.
Yeah. So I did have in my list. I did have in my list the GB Interceptor update, but I kind of gave that at the start of the show. So pretty much the only thing left is Persona 5 Royal. I am 87 hours in. Almost done with the sixth. No, I just started the sixth palace. That's or seventh. I lost count. But this is I think this is the palace I like the least. So not looking forward to that one. There was the previous palace. At the end of that was almost like an hour and a half of expedition dump. So it was like pretty much like watching a feature-length movie. And I forgot it was that long. I knew it was coming because I played the game before and I've watched the anime, so I knew what was happening. But I forgot how long that was. I literally had to break it up into two segments because it was like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I need to stop this. Otherwise, I'm not going to go to bed until 3. But so if you play the game, you know what I'm talking about. But so it's Persona. If you like Persona games, you'll like this game. And I do have the 3 portable and 4 golden as well that this weekend I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do like the first look on them. But I won't have Persona 5 finished by then, so I will. So if I don't get them done this weekend, I'll get it done before next weekend. But yeah, I like Persona.
I like how you ended that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Persona.
All right. Tim, what about you?
I haven't been on in a while, so I've been playing what I could fit in for, even though it seems like I've been playing a lot, I haven't been having a hard time finding some time, except as of this past week. I've been able to play a lot more. So, but I've been playing a little bit more of Monster Train First Class on the Switch. Again, I like popping into that and trying to get through a run of that game. And if you guys don't remember what that is, it's a um kind of like a card battle based game where you use cards to power up your train and then your fighters on your train to fight off the good guys because you're the bad guys essentially. So there's a whole story behind it, but it's a good strategic game to try to, use your cards and power up as much as possible to make it through a full run. So I've been having fun with that. I've also been playing Fist Forged in Shadow Torch, which is
This is a ridiculous title. I hope it's a good game.
It is actually a great Metroidvania game. It's I've been having a lot of fun with it, and it definitely has the Metroid feels to it, So I've been having a lot of fun with it. I picked it up when I was on vacation over the Christmas break. I picked up the limited edition copy that I found at a GameStop over on the west side of Michigan when I was visiting over there. So it's a lot of fun. It's a good Metroidvania type game, and if you're into those type of games, go check it out. The video. I didn't do a video of it. I think somebody might have done a video on. I can't remember. I'll just say go check it out. Go look at Nintendo's page on it, or search for the games. Take a look at that. I've also been playing Pokemon TCG Live on my phone. I fired that up, downloaded it, and played a couple rounds. After I got through the tutorials, I played a couple rounds against some people and actually won, even though I'm still learning how to play Pokemon game apparently, because I thought I knew how to play, but I think they changed some rules and I don't know how to play that anymore. So it was interesting.
When was the last time you played when you thought you knew the rules?
When my oldest was a kid.
Oh yeah. So yeah, they had a pretty massive rule change maybe 10 to 15 years ago.
And even when I played it again, it was only on the Game Boy version of it. And that's, with the old rules too.
That was the OG rules.
Yeah. So when I played this one, I was like, what is going on? But it has a really good tutorial system in it. So it helps you learn how to, use the battlefield and all that kind of stuff. So I'm still learning it, and it's fun and it's free. And you can actually, if your kids get packs, you can use the QR codes. I don't have any nearby. You can use the QR codes to download free packs and stuff like that to build decks and stuff. So it's a good system. I like it. Also, we talked about it already, the SteamWorld build demo. I played that on the PC using Steam. Looking forward to that. So I won't go into that more since we already talked about it earlier. And then Nintendo of America gave us a code for Fire Emblem Engage. And I've been playing that, and actually I'll probably start streaming where I'm leaving off at right now. I got to I'm drawing a blank of where I left off, but I'm back in my house, if you will. So I have to go back to playing it so I can remember some of the details. But I'm really enjoying my time with Engage because it is more focused on the strategy part of the game rather than the other parts that I was used to in Three Houses. Three Houses was my first full immersion into the Fire Emblem games. So I've dabbled into some of the other ones, but not as I didn't play it as much as I did Three Houses. So this is a refreshing change, going back to the fundamentals, going back to the whole strategy tactics side of Fire Emblem, and I'm enjoying that. Unfortunately, this may be filling my void for what I was hoping the other game that got delayed would do in the tactics area, the Advance Wars. So So if Advance Wars comes out anytime soon, I may not pick it up as like I thought it would because my needs for tactics is being filled by Fire Emblem. We'll see. But I'm enjoying it very much so. But I would say go check out John's video on his first impressions of that Fire Emblem Engaged as well. Because Nintendo of UK gave us a code and he got that one and he was able to share his thoughts, his first impressions there. And also listen to Dad's After Dark. I'm sure he's talking about it more there as well. And on deck, I said on deck, but I actually did play it before the show, which is GoldenEye, which we talked about already, and Trek to Yumi, which I can't talk about yet, but I will probably most likely at the next show. So, because that's coming out on the Switch, like we said.
You've been waiting on that one.
Oh, I had a feeling it was coming. I actually bought it I played it a little bit on Game Pass. But then I stopped because I'm like, I bet you this is coming to the Switch and I want to play it there. So, and it did. So I'm looking forward to checking that out, and I'll have a let's play of that game after it drops on the 30th.
Yeah.
That's when our embargo goes. So
yeah.
So that's what I've been playing.
So yeah. So it's been a while since I've been on the show. So I've been playing a ton of stuff, and I'm just going to throw it out here kind of rapid fire. A lot of it is older stuff and stuff that people, probably a lot of our listeners have already played, but a couple of things are new. So I'll go through this pretty fast. Some people know I have a Backbone controller that I play a few games on my iPhone with. I found out that you can play Vampire Survivors on iPhone with the Backbone. It doesn't really tell you that you can, but it totally works. And so I have been playing, like I've had to make myself quit playing Vampire Survivors because I just get sucked into it. Like, and it's so good. It's so simplistic, but it's like, it's so much of one of those one more run games. Right. And so I just can't quit playing it when I boot it up. And so I've got to be careful. Like I will lose an hour to Vampire Survivors like that. So anyway, I picked that up. Another one that I picked up on Nintendo Switch that is actually, I found out is an earlier indie release, probably on Steam. This is the remix. It's called the Remix Edition of a game called Shieldmaiden. This came out a few weeks ago. It looked really interesting. Nintendo highlighted it with a tweet. It's okay. It's not what I thought it was. It's super short. Basically, you play this girl who has a bracelet that can create a shield that can absorb enemies' attacks and then like turn around and like attack with like its power, or she can like swing it like a melee weapon or throw it. And so I thought it was going to be like it kind of like the art style and everything kind of reminded me of Iconoclast, which is an amazing Metroidvania that came out early on in the Switch's life that I think is super underrated. And if you haven't played Iconoclast, you need to go try it. I was kind of disappointed with Shieldmaiden. I was disappointed in it because of the length. I was disappointed in it because it really looked on the tweet, like the actual like kind of sizzle reel footage of it played way clunkier than that, and it just had some really weird design choices that I didn't like. So I can't really say that I overall recommend it, but if you're a fan of like Mega Man X style platformers, like it kind of reminded me, like I kept thinking Mega Man X while I was playing it. One of the things that really frustrated me about it too was like the bosses, because the bosses are very, they have like, it's like learn the pattern, survive, hit it when you're supposed to, and then do damage and then get away. And it's just very repetitive. So,
Okay.
And the story is kind of like, man, it's not really, it's more post-apocalyptic, whatever. I also picked up, because it was $5 during the end of the year sale, I picked up Wolfenstein II, the new Colossus for Switch. I never played it before. I didn't play Wolfenstein, so I feel like I'm lost already coming into it. Like they do this great recap at the beginning, but it really doesn't mean all that much. But this game is a lot of fun. If you like shooting Nazis, then you'll like Wolfenstein II, the new Colossus. You shoot a lot of Nazis. And you know, for the good old US of A. It's very it's very vulgar though.
Yes.
Lots of F-bombs and inappropriate humor and talk and insults and things. So dad warning on that one. Tim, I've also been playing, courtesy of my backbone and Apple Arcade, Horizon Chase 2.
Yeah, how was that?
Which, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good.
Is it better than the first one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All the good stuff of the first one, like distilled down to the utter goodness of it.
Oh,
and it's
nice.
so good. The music, the graphics, everything. I can't wait till this comes out later this year on Switch so you get to experience it, because I know how much you love the first one. And it is so good on Backbone. I'm telling you right now, if you make a game in 2023 that's like a platforming or arcadey style game that like needs a joystick or controller and you don't add controller support, it is an instant delete for me.
Right. Yes, it
instant. Is. Absolutely.
If you want Marty to play your game, put controller support.
In
Final
fact,
Fantasy says hi.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for him on the Switch. Today, I downloaded My Friend Pedro. I was so excited because it was on iOS. It was free because actually Devolver dropped a new iOS app today. It's a Devolver puzzle game, like Devolver Pop, it's like the Disney thing where you like drag and get the line and blow up all the heads, but it's Devolver characters. It's pretty funny.
That is funny.
But anyway, I saw that My Friend Pedro was on there, and I was so excited because I was like, I wanted to check that game out on Switch, but I never pulled the trigger on like the actual, because of the cost and everything. Right. And I loaded it up. No controller support. Immediately deleted. Sorry, I'm not playing it.
Doesn't make sense. Why?
I don't want to drag my thumb over the screen on my iPhone to control a character. Nobody ever wanted to do that. So anyway, if you make an app and it uses Backbone, you're okay.
That's how I felt about on-screen keyboards when they first came out.
Yeah. See, for those of us who didn't have the tactile keyboards and Blackberries back in the day, we adapted just fine.
Yes.
3 more games I've been playing just real quick. I started, because of the show, I started The Last of Us Part 1. I actually already own this. I think this may have been in the pre-show. It may have been before that. We were kind of talking about the show and our experience of the game. I had the remastered version on PS4 and played the first 30 minutes of it up till that moment. And if you've played the game, if you played the opening of the game, you know what that moment is. And that happened, and I put the controller down and said, nope, not doing it. Because I had a very young daughter at the time. And I was like, nope, not doing it. I'm out. But I'm back now, and I'm playing the PS5 version. And it's really good. It's really good. It's Uncharted with zombies, but it's really good.
Uncharted with zombies.
It really is. It's just Uncharted with fungus zombies. The controls and the combat are exactly the same. You can't convince me otherwise.
Marty, there's some people in here, Seth and Mecha Dragon, calling you out to play on Apple Arcade the Pocket Jockey game.
Oh, I am. I was getting to that. I am playing Pocket Card Jockey. I played it on the 3DS. I'm playing it on this. I love it. It's fantastic.
There you go.
Everyone who has Apple Arcade, if you're in the sound of my voice and you have not downloaded Pocket Card Jockey Rides Again, I think is the name of the subtitle now, you need to do it. And by the way, total news thing here that you guys, Jesse's starting it. See, there you go.
Does this support controller, or is this touch only?
It may, but you don't need a controller for this.
Yeah, this one doesn't make sense for a controller.
But I'll say this: it's so good, and they said this week that they're not ruling out a Switch version, so that means it's probably coming. It's fantastic. It's so good. Humor, fantastic. The humor is just amazing. But anyway, Last of Us Part 1, really good. I also picked up Onion Assault, which is the new game from the Gunman Clive and Extermination Force developer, Bertil Horberg. And it's okay. It's good. It's like a nice little homage to Super Mario 2. But it has some problems. Like it's only $8, but it looks great. The controls are a little wonky, a little floaty for me, so I'm having some issues with it, but I just got it. And I'll try it again. The other game that I wanted to mention is it came out today like a little shadow drop, is Oddballers, which is actually everywhere. It's a cross-play game. It's dodgeball. It's party game dodgeball. Justin and I played several rounds of it this afternoon because we've got sent 2 codes over from Ubisoft. It feels a little unpolished, but by the end of it, we were having a really good time. A lot of fun. Simple mechanics, lots of different 7 or 8 different game modes, including, this blew us away, including a boss fight. There's boss fights in this game, like where they drop you in a, like in the first map is called, I think, Bumpkin Farms or something like that, and they drop you in an arena with some rednecks riding on a tractor, and you have to hit them with dodgeballs to knock them out. And you either see how long you can last or you beat them. And so everybody's on the same team. But otherwise, it's like teams versus each other, free for all. There's a game where you throw chickens at each other. It's really like on brand humor for Ubisoft. But guys, this got a price tag of $20. And it looks like it was intended to have a battle pass because it has what's called a loyalty pass. So if you buy the game, there's 50 levels of unlocks that you get. But then on January 29th, they're doing like massive server maintenance or game maintenance. It's going to last like 12 hours. So Justin and I were talking about, we think that like they're probably going to add some kind of battle pass mechanic or something to it. In that case, I'm out. Honestly, I may be, like I was telling him the other day, I'm probably out on Fortnite after this season. Like it's just lost the luster that it used to have for me. Like I'm a level 100 this season, but it's very begrudgingly. I've just not really enjoyed it.
Maybe it's just honestly, time to take a break. You can always come back.
Maybe it is like I'm a little burnt out on it.
Yeah,
because I've been going like hard and heavy on it since Chapter 2, Season 4, the Marvel season. But honestly, like 45 levels out of my battle pass this year are kids at church, like getting my levels. Like there's homeschool kids that are up here and they're like changing my skin and playing my game all day long. They're like, yeah, we got you like 50 levels today while you were working and we were doing nothing. I was like, oh, thanks. And I log in. They're like, yeah, there's 250 battle stars. Go spend them. I don't know. It's just, it's just kind of lost. I've lost that love and feeling for Fortnite. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. That's what we've been playing. There he goes. Tim's getting pocket card jockey. Here we go. Everybody's playing the horse game. Let's turn on the community spotlights.
Yes. All right, we got the community spotlight, and this is where we shine the light on our community. And the community has created our family a podcast, essentially. We wouldn't have them if it wasn't for our community, so we like to bring a spotlight onto those. Such as Game Pass News, where Nick and Sean go over the week's shenanigans, Xbox news, and Game Pass releases. In fact, they talk about, or they did a live react to, I think, the Director Direct. So go check that out. I think they recorded it and they had an episode they just recorded. So those drop every Saturday. So make sure you have that on your podcast feed, especially if you're an Xbox fan. You also have the Dads After Dark show. After the kids are in bed and the wife is distracted, John and Drew get together and talk about video games and dad stuff we can't talk about on our family-friendly show. So go check them out every other Monday night, and occasionally they drop a special episode as well. So again, Dad's After Dark show. Retro Logic Shows also has a family of podcasts with various topics. We have Retro Logic, which has Dan, John, and Sam covering all your retro gaming and retro gaming collecting topics. On Topic Retro, in-depth overview and discussions from John about specific retro games with a guest or two to help him talk about those topics. And then Retro Groove, which has Adam and Liam discussing music from all generations and types. And finally, Film Logic, which is Mike Eston and a guy named Tim talking about film topics and the latest stuff they've been watching. And of course, it's endorsed by Brad William Pitt. So what could go wrong? So find out more about each, as well as read their latest blogs of those family of podcasts at retrologic.games for the Retrologic family of shows. Or you can go to nintendodads.org to see all of those shows and their Spotify feeds. Go check them out and add them. If you got Spotify, add them there, or at least you can check them out and then add them to your favorite podcast feed. We also have our contests going on by a couple of those podcasts. Dads After Dark show has monthly mayhem that they run for the Nintendo Dads community. You can come in our Discord and check that out and see what the latest monthly mayhem information is. And that is on Ding Dong XL. That's the latest one they have going on right now, where they have solo, dual, and infinite chances for you to win. There's more details in the monthly mayhem folder in Discord. So come check that out. We also have Game Pass News, which does achievement hunters. So make sure you're listening to their latest episodes to get the details on that, as well as come to their side of our Discord and get details under the achievement hunter side channel. You can also keep an eye on both of those groups' Twitters for various contest information as well. With that, we'll go over to the community section where we have our questions. We have a couple that were dropped in Discord and a couple that were dropped in voicemail. So first I'll read the question from Presto the Magnificent. And here's the interesting question. What is or was your best pickup line? And real quick, I'll mention Huntress, Jacqueline's, our Patreon producer, response was, as a self-rescuing princess, I'll throw my 2 cents in on this one. Be yourself. Laughing out loud, my partner got me by 1, saying he was cuddle-sized. He still is. She's laughing. And number 2, he paid for my tacos. He loves bragging about this when people ask how we got together. And 3, he bribed an 80s cover band to sing me happy birthday. So no pickup line necessary. So that's coming from a lady's perspective. But guys, did you guys have a pickup line for your wives or when you dated? And if so, what was it?
Oh, no, actually. It's, I still am very surprised that I'm married.
Me too.
Like I wake up some days, I'm like, oh,
I think there's a common theme here.
You're still here. No, I was not very lucky in relationships. So I had what I referred to as a 3-month curse. And that was usually like, there was a string of relationships that I went through in late high school and into college where, like at about 3 months, it would fall apart. And so my wife, I told her then, and I tell her all the time, I'm like, you were the first one to break the 3-month curse. And so she defeated the curse. So she got married. We got married. So like I didn't use a pickup line on her. We met because I was in a band. She knew me from a class. She came to watch us play. She was rebounding from a pretty awful relationship. And I know people tell you not to date rebounds or to watch out for that, but it was meant to be. And so we remet because we had been in some classes together and seen each other around at college. We remet on June 8th of 2001, and we got married on June 8th, 2002. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I mean it's a great thing. But I always thought pickup lines were kind of cheesy.
At least the ones I tried, if I ever tried, were cheesy, so I never used them.
But if I did use a pickup line, here's what I would say. I would say, "Hey, baby, are you from the South? Because you're the only 10 I see."
Oh, oh, ouch.
How about you, Jesse?
Don't use that one. It will not win you any.
No. Yeah, I also, well, yeah, y'all know how introverted I am. So yeah, I wasn't one to reach out. So it's yeah, my story is kind of kind of similar to Jacqueline's and Marty's. It's a be yourself type of thing. So I don't know if I ever shared this story, but my wife and I initially met in EverQuest. So I was one of the enchanters in the guild I was in. She joined and was also an enchanter. So we just started, talking as the enchanter team and whatnot, and through that, she knew I dabbled with computers, and she wasn't as tech savvy. So one day she had computer problems. So I'm like, okay, I can help you with that, but we're not going to be able to chat in game because I'm going to have you need to reboot your computer. So we're going to have to talk on the phone. So completely, true. No ulterior motive, thought of here.
Not for you, there wasn't.
No, but she was actually reluctant to do it. I'm like, okay, sure,
Yeah.
we'll do that. So we got on the phone. We helped diagnose her problem, got things cleaned up, and she got her up and running again. And then the way she tells the story, she goes, the next day she's thinking, oh, I wonder what he's doing. So we just start talking a little bit more in game, and then out of game we'd be on the phone. We just got to the point, 'cause at the time she lived in Pennsylvania. So we just got to the point where we started talking every day. Then she lived with her sister, and her sister, out of the blue, completely unrelated to anything that my wife and I have been talking about, says, I've been thinking about moving more toward the Midwest. I want to be closer to mom, but not so close that she expects us to visit every weekend. And she goes, have you been looking at the caller ID? And she goes, no, why? I'm like, oh, because there's a guy from Kansas I've been talking to. So eventually she, her and her sister moved into Kansas. We then started dating, and we got married, and it'll be 15 years this October. I have to do the math on that, but I think so. Yeah. So
congratulations. That's awesome.
All just because I knew how to fix a computer.
Ironically, Aaron and I's relationship started with a phone call where she asked me a computer question, which she later admitted I knew the answer to this question. I was just looking for an excuse to call you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What can I say, guys? What can I say? When you got it, you got it. I mean, that's
in Lee's case. In Lee's case, she really didn't know how to fix a computer.
But I'd say this too: we're working on 21 years this year.
Nice, so, congratulations!
Thank you. So again, it's one of those things. Like I wake up, I'm like, why are you still here?
Yes.
$2 Hero says, dude, I love it when the girls chase the guys.
So for me, it was again no pickup lines. So I hope everybody's picking up on the theme here. I knew already I would have been bad at them, because anytime I don't remember what I used, but if I did try, it didn't go well. It made me look stupid. So, and plus I was trying too hard, and that's another key thing. You're trying too hard. So just be yourself. I was just being myself with Nora. That's who my wife is. And actually we were friends before we started dating. But she knew me from just being myself, when we were hanging out in group settings, and being friends. So eventually, in a previous life, I was married before, and we were all friends in the groups before. Then that didn't work out so well after a year of marriage, got divorced, all that kind of stuff. Both stuff we had to learn, life lesson essentially there. So I was going through some hard times and stuff like that, living with some best friends of mine for a while there, and those best friends, one of them was a best friend with Nora, and they grew up together in high school and all that kind of stuff. So again, that's how I met her, and that's how come we were all in a group of friends. So, but she says the first time I met you is you were being a goofball, and it was me sitting at a table playing euchre. She was on the other team, and I was just being stupid silly, acting like the blinds behind me, the window blinds behind me, not these ones, but something similar, were talking to me and trying to attack me while trying to play euchre. So that was her first impression of me. So, but long story short, after all the hardship I was going through and stuff like that, she would come hang out with me while I was living at my friend's house while I was doing laundry. Monday nights was my laundry night. And why was Monday nights my laundry night, Marty? Monday Night Raw.
Woo!
So I was watching wrestling while doing that, and she would come over and watch wrestling with me. So, and then later on, it was because she was trying to build, some connection there with me and stuff like that. And then I didn't have to do anything. She just came over and told me one time and said she wasn't staying to watch wrestling. She wanted to tell me that she wanted to, if I was open to starting a relationship. Gave me time to think about it because she knew I'd been through, divorce and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, here, I'll give you time to think about it. I'm going to leave, and, you let me know if you want to try this out. And so rest is history. She made the first move, not me, because I hardly ever did that kind of thing.
So what we're saying here is that in all three of our cases, the ladies made the first move.
Yes.
Pretty much. So what we're saying in here is just wait until a lady makes a move, and then that's who you're supposed to be with.
But you got to be alert enough to pick up on it, because if you're oblivious to it, you might miss your chance.
Yes, and that's an excellent point, Jesse Waldack, because I've never been good at signals. And so I missed a few in my younger years. I know I did now, but back then it was like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, I can't think of any specific examples, but I can guarantee that I'm sure I missed a cue.
But also, when I was in my younger days, I looked like a potato working a robot body with controls even more than I do now. So that's why I grew facial hair, because if I do this, it just looks like a potato above my shoulders. And so I'm done. Like I'm married. Like Aaron and I have both agreed. Like it's like if one of us dies, it's the end of the line. Like that's it. Like it's like I cannot start this process over again. Like I like it gives me anxiety. Even more anxiety than I have right now, which is a lot. It gives me a lot of anxiety to think about what it would be like to date as a 42-year-old person.
I'm in the same boat, man.
Where does a 42-year-old man go find a date? Like Walmart, Kroger,
where people typically go is where it scares me. So, but
anyways, I'm not gonna like. I just learned. Look at me. I am not going to the club.
Right.
I'm not.
I just learned a new slang word, by the way. My daughter came down because she's watching us right now. I didn't know this. She came down. So she came down and she told me this new slang word, I guess. about because we said the ladies picked us up, right? Not us picking them up. She said that's because ladies have Rizz.
Oh God.
That's
do you know what that is?
Please don't use. Yes, I do. Please don't use. Oh, that's word.
I do not know what this is.
It's like it's short for charisma, because apparently we've devolved in a society where we can't say words. Why say many word when few word do trick?
That sounds sus.
Well, it's like if a guy has a lot of. My son explained it to me this way, which is hilarious that he explained this. He said, when a guy has a lot of game with the ladies, it's called Rizz. It's like he's got Rizz.
And Friendo says, is that contagious?
Is it Rizz? He's got the Rizz. My son used a slang word the other day that I had never heard before. Like, we're at a restaurant and he gets his food and he's losing his mind over his food, and he looks at it and he goes, I'm about to be jubbing on this. And I was like, you're gonna do what? He's like, jubbing. I'm about to be jubbing on that food. And so now I say it all the time just to bother him. Like,
instead
be like,
of jumping and jubbing.
Jubbing, right. Jubbin. And so I'm like, I'll be out and be like, yesterday we went to Taco Bell. I was like, man, I'm about to be jubbing on that burrito. He's like, Dad,
we're gonna start a new word now, jubbin.
Jubbin dads.
Mecca just put something in the chat that was actually where I was going to go. After hearing that, I had a song in my head, so now I'm thinking, putting on the Rizz.
Putting on the Rizz. That's the show title right there. Write it down. Putting on the Rizz.
That's the third possible title I've already got written down.
I want to say this, that as a guy who lived through the 90s and early 2000s, Rizz does not sound like a word you're going to use in polite conversation. I'm just going to throw that out there. There we go.
It's too close to the Dads After Dark topics there.
This is where we've gone with pickup lines. Oh my gosh.
All right, we'll move on to the next question.
Before we say something we shouldn't.
Quagmire asks, I want to clarify my question from last week as my wording confused the dads. I meant, have you ever anticipated a game's release where no other games would satisfy you? For example, when Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was a week out from release, I played 0 games as nothing interested me. Still, I kept rewatching the trailers, direct for all the Xenoblade 3 content I could absorb.
Yes, this has absolutely happened to me. It happened to me in around 1989, back when the NES was out. Actually, 1990 is when this happened. Christmas of 1990, because a game came out that Nintendo featured in Nintendo Power that absolutely captured my mind, destroyed me. I had to have it. That's all I could think about. And then I got it, and I realized that I was a dummy. So you'll know what I mean when I say this. When I play that the game was Little Nemo, the Dream Master. Have you ever played the game?
I heard about it. They just
I'm pretty sure I rented it back in the day, but I don't remember anything about it.
Capcom made this game. Okay,
they just re-released it, or they're going to.
It stars a little boy who is dreaming. It's based on an animated film from Japan called Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland, in which this little kid, Nemo, dreams about this wonderful world where he can throw candy to monsters and then jump inside them once they eat enough candy. Like, he puts them to sleep.
That doesn't sound safe.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But each level, instead of getting from one end to the other, it's okay. So it says he can ride these animals, but in some cases, in the game, he was he got in their mouth.
Are they riding their intestinal tract?
I guess. I don't know. It was like a frog,
get from one side to the other,
or a gorilla, or a mole, and it would give him powers, right? Nintendo Power did a story on this, and it just honestly, and it was in every magazine. It was in like EGM, it was in Game Pro, it was in Nintendo Power, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to have this game. And then I got it, and it was hard as balls. All right, well, like it was so disappointing. Like I remember getting to the end of getting close to the end of the game one time on like sheer will and determination and anger because I was mad that I kept losing, and I just got on a hot streak and made it in the game. I've never beat it, but that was the game. Nothing satisfied. I would sit and look at catalogs and like leave them. I was like the kid from A Christmas Story, leaving them out for my parents. Like, have you seen Little Nemo? It's right here. You can order it from Sears. I was so convinced. I was like, if I don't tell them about it every time we talk, I'm not going to get this game. So anyway, that was it. Probably not a great example, but there you go.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
Jesse, you got one?
I don't think my example is exactly what he's asking about, but there's been times when, like, I know, like a big RPG is coming that I want to play, like a Pokemon or something, and so they'll like for like that week, I might not play much because I don't want to get started into something that I'm going to have to stop, or not want to stop and delay playing Pokemon. That's exactly what happened with Dragon Quest 11 a few years ago. That that game came out, I think, September, but other things happened that I got sucked in, and I didn't get a chance to play that until after Christmas. So I think that's kind of, if I know I'm playing a game that is going to be time consuming, I kind of have to gear up for it and not get into anything else beforehand.
And I think that's probably where some of that mentality is for this hit, for what he's talking about too, is like, you're so excited about where you might not have been so excited that you didn't play. You were just preparing to play. His was about being excited and anticipation for a new game like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that nothing else, that he didn't want to touch anything else. So I was feeling that way about Metroid Dread at the time. It was like, when that was getting ready to come out, it was like, I was like nothing else. I played games because I had to, because we had some probably first looks that I had to do, and that was the only reason why I was playing games in most cases like that. But it was like, I just want Metroid Dread to come out. I just want it out. I want it now.
Mm-hmm.
So when I can understand that when it's a game, like I'm going to be that way as soon as I know when Metroid Prime 4's date is, it's going to be driving me bonkers. I'm not going to want to play any type of I think it's more about the genre than any games though. So like, I'm not going to want to play any first person shooter games or anything like that. I'm kind of feeling that way about, Tears of the Kingdom as well. Cause like, I still wanted to go back into, Breath of the Wild. Cause there's still stuff I want to explore in there that I didn't get a chance to explore before I beat the game. But I haven't, because it's just like, I just want to save my Legend of Zelda time for Tears of the Kingdom. So I haven't touched it. It's like, I don't want to play anything else that big like that or open world like that. So.
See, I find that like when I anticipate a game heavily like that, like Metroid Dread or Tears of the Kingdom, I do the opposite of what Quagmire's talking about. And that is, I try my best to not read or watch anything about it. So like when Metroid Dread was about to come out and they were doing like those Dread briefings every week, leading up to it, I was not watching those.
For me, I was the opposite. I watched everything. When
the reviews started to come out, I stayed away from them. Just I saw the number and I was like, that's it. Tears of the Kingdom, I'm not watching any videos about, because I want to go into the game as fresh as possible. Like, I don't want any scenes from it to be spoiled. I don't want to know any solutions to puzzles. I don't like that might accidentally get shown. I don't want to know about game mechanics. Like there was stuff from Mario Odyssey I had no clue about when it came out, because I deliberately blacked out content from that.
Yeah, that one I actually did what you're just talking about. It was like, I didn't want to watch too much on that. I wanted to go into it with limited.
I guess knowledge. It's because like I genuinely don't get surprised at video games as much as I used to. And I want that feeling. right? I really would like to have that feeling of awe and discovery. So I try not to, you know, I can totally respect people who like though are like, I only want this game. Like that's all I want. Like, and I'm going to consume as much media about it as possible because nowadays a lot of times and Nintendo is doing a really good job about this, is they don't show you everything up front, right? I mean, like they show you maybe like 25% of the game.
They've been doing very well doing the Marvel method, which is, you think you're getting a lot of information, but you really aren't.
Right. That's what I was kind of referring to.
All this information they dumped on you is literally the first 5 minutes.
Yes.
You're right.
So, well, that was a great question, Quagmire. Thanks for clarifying, and hopefully we were able to give you good answers this time. I don't even remember what we said last week, and I think I was around for that part of the show for the community questions, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember yesterday, so no. Anyways, on to the first voicemail.
Hey guys, it's me, Christian. I just wanted to call in and ask a question as we say goodbye to the 6th year of Nintendo Switch and move into the 7th. I'm finding it difficult for me to be excited about what Nintendo Switch will have to offer to me. Of course, being a Zelda fan, I'm super excited about Tears of the Kingdom, but I can find myself, playing that game for about 6 months, and then after that, I'm not exactly sure what I'd be looking forward to. I know they haven't made any announcements yet, and I do expect stuff to come by later in the year, but recently I've been finding myself lacking in the Switch, looking for something fun to play that will be a great story and kind of inspire me to play stuff like what Zelda would do for me. So hopefully something will come by with Nintendo. What are you guys hoping for the continued lifespan of the Switch? Apparently it'll be a decade-long system, so I'm hoping something will come out of the Nintendo Magic Hat and will impress us all. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day, and thanks for all awesome content.
I think it's a great question. And going back to my comments a little bit earlier when we were talking about what we've been playing about Fortnite, I kind of in a Justin slump right now, and I call it that because he had that whole show where he talked about that, like about how he's not was kind of at a point where he wasn't really excited for anything gaming wise, and I'm there right now. Like I can totally recognize the gaming burnout. Like I will take my Switch in my hands and I will boot this up, and I have tons of games that I need to finish, but I just don't have motivation to do it. Like I was thinking today, I'm going to look here. I have Life is Strange remastered. I put an hour into it when I first got it, and I've got Dead Cells that I picked back up and started dabbling around a little bit with. Persona 5 that I've never booted up, but I own. A Little to the Left, Midnight Fight Express. I've not even once played the single player campaign for Splatoon 3. Not once. Pokemon Violet, Sparks of Hope, Doom Eternal, I still haven't finished. So I've got Inscription, Wolfenstein, I've got tons of games right now that I could play if I want to. It's just when I boot my system up and I'm like, yeah, I guess I can play a game. And I even kind of feel that way about Last of Us, even though I'm really excited to play it. I'm really excited by the show. I don't know. I'm just in a weird place with video games right now. And I think part of it is because of being on the show. I'm immersed in video games all the time in a lot of ways, but also there's not been any real huge news that's come out within the last 4 to 5 months that has really made me go, wow. Now that I'm excited for, right? Even the last like Nintendo Direct was kind of meh to me. So I don't know what it would take. Like honestly, even right now, like if Capcom dropped a new Mega Man like announcement, I would be like, man, I mean, I'll play it, but I'm not. And it may be just like I'm in a season of life right now where I've got too much on me, like layered things to do and things going on. But yeah, I mean, I had this weird thought earlier when I took a break, Tim, while you were starting this and went to the bathroom. But like I had this weird thought. It's like, what if I deleted Fortnite from my Switch? You know,
You'd save
because it's
some space.
well, I would, but like also like it's kind of been my like for the past year to year and a half, it's kind of been like my default game. Like, oh, I don't know what to play. I'll play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
If
got
you're
a few
going to take
minutes.
a
I'll play
break from it,
Fortnite.
definitely delete it. It's a pain in the butt to re-download. So if you really are going to play it, you're going to really have to think about re-downloading it.
That's good strategy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, definitely it's it's cyclical about, not really being into games to doing nothing but games. I must have been up and down to that yo-yo half a dozen times over the last 20 years. So it definitely happens. But yeah, the games I'm looking forward to are definitely, like Zelda, Pikmin 4, uh, Dragon Quest 3, HD 2D, Dragon Quest 12. No idea when those will come out, but I know they're in development. And then I'm sure there's going to be multiple games that that Nintendo will announce for the back half of the year that we have no idea that even exists yet, because that's how they work. So there'll be something new that I want as well. I just don't know it yet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is I'm looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom, as I mentioned before. And I think even one of my predictions was that we would get some sort of announcement of a game. I think it was Metroid 4 after that launches, after Tears of the Kingdom launches. We'll get that, whether it be Metroid Prime 4 or Nintendo's big thing, like Jesse says, whatever the next games are, we'll get that. If not this upcoming direct that we're supposed to get, we'll probably hear something that'll be coming out we weren't expecting. That's what I like. So it's like, yeah, we don't know what's coming out after Tears of the Kingdom for sure. But I also look forward to a lot of these indie games, or even some third-party publishers. I've been looking for things that are different, something that's that'll hit me different or whatever. So I have a lot of things, like I think John from Dad's After Dark has indicated in his in the chat. He said, like the usual stuff like Octopath and Tears, but he's also got some of the things like Silk Song, Sea of Stars. That's one I have on my list too.
Yeah, that too.
The Bayo prequel. So the Origins one we talked about earlier, Mina the Howler, Blanc. That makes sense, Blanco. And Wild Frost. Advanced Wars, we're all, like I said, we're all waiting for that. Pikmin 4 is another Nintendo game that's supposed to come out. So, but I have a lot of the, indie games that have been really fun to watch or learn, because they're usually a lot shorter too. So I don't want to, other than Fire Emblem's probably going to take a while. I don't want to dive into the big long games, because again, I've been waiting for Tears of the Kingdom to be that long game. The next 5 years, I'll be playing that probably. So,
and then we have other non-Nintendo games coming out, like as you said, like Plucky Squire is the game I'm interested in.
Yes, all those indie games, or even like I said, some third parties. Like I'm looking for a Disney Speedrun. Once they get that figured out, when that comes out, Disney
remasters.
Disney's Illusion Island. That's the new Mickey Mouse game that's coming out. I'm looking forward to checking out. The Fatal Frame, I'm kind of curious about too, even though that's a little bit different in my wheelhouse. Everybody's talking about Gunbrella. I'm kind of interested in that. So yeah, there's just a ton of for me, indies. My Switch is the indie console essentially, and I get the benefit of playing those on the go, even though I could play them mostly on other consoles. I like playing them here because I can play it on the go. It's easier than me firing up the Xbox Cloud on my phone and connecting the controller and all that kind of stuff. I just fire up my Switch, and that's where I play most of my games. So, is there anything I'm looking forward to? Indies coming out with something new that I haven't seen before, or a new take on something, and Nintendo surprising me. That's what I look forward to after Tears of the Kingdom. But great question, Christian. So, all right, and the next one is from Mecha Dragon.
Hey, Jesse, I love hearing your voice and whatnot. How's that? Hope you're doing good. Hopefully you hear me as echo break room and my job at the moment. My question for you guys this week is that I don't know if you noticed, but there's been so much reboots coming out recently. I didn't mind at first, but then when I find out there's a reboot for that Sunny show, called that 90 show, and after hearing a bunch of like animators saying like you can't really make a new idea anymore, you have to like basically like revamp or reboot existing ideas to make any profit or just make it recognizable. This is a question you guys was thinking about. Do you think these reboots for like TV shows or just reboots in general, is it like helping for like media, I guess, for lack of a better word, or is it like do you think we should get more new ideas? And relating it back to gaming, do you think we're gonna see a trend in the future where we just do nothing but reboots or remakes? And do you think that'd be healthy for gaming, or do you prefer just like new ideas and new IPs and whatnot? Hopefully that makes sense. Being a podcast tonight, I feel knocked out on my chair today. So, I gotta get back to work. So, you guys stay slow. Hopefully, Tim is actually on the show this week. Yeah, good to see you, folks. See you soon.
All right, I just want to say with, he left that voicemail without knowing that there was going to be another question about pickup lines. So I thought that was funny. Yeah, well, the game industry's kind of already been like that for the last 15 years or so. Remakes and remasters. Like, how many times have we seen Resident Evil 4, right? But yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. But when I'm watching the commercials when I'm watching football because I'm
Yes.
go Chiefs, and what they have, Night Court, they have Quantum Leap, and it's like all these multiple
Magnum
other shows.
PI.
Magnum PI. So yeah, all these other these shows that were around in the 80s, early 90s that are just now back again, and they even have Lara Kett as a character in Night Court as like an old man doing something. So like he brought him
Well, he's
back.
playing his role just as an
Is it still the same role? I haven't.
It's still the same role on Night Court.
I haven't seen the show.
He's just older.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So TV's starting to do that. Games have been doing that, and will probably continue to do that forever. Because we also want them to do it. Like how many times have we heard people want Nintendo to release Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on the Switch? They want to play the old games on the new system, so that
we were just talking about Super Metroid being remade too. So
that requires a remake.
Yeah.
So yeah, part of it is we want it, but if they do the games we don't want, then we get mad.
Yeah.
I think when you think about the remake thing, I think there's a way to do it that is respectful to the gaming community, that's respectful to the spirit of the game, and there's ways to do it that are just junk and cash grab.
Well, the good way we talked about was like Zero Mission, where they took the first game, made it better, and built upon that, bringing the quality of life that they've learned through the years to the very first game, which very first game is very hard to play, especially going back to it from all the other games you played that already came out. So
yeah,
but Zero Mission is a good
You know,
example of a good way to remake a game.
I think that the first time I ever encountered like a remake like that was Super Mario All-Stars.
Yeah.
Yes, great example. Yes.
And that was a game that was very respectful to, I think, gamers and to the Nintendo community and to the like Super Mario fans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is a great package. You got 4 games in one, and one of those games is a game like that you'd never played before because it was Lost Levels, right?
Yeah.
Now, there some choices about it that I would have made differently, sure, but it was Mario with updated graphics at that time, HD, you know, like whatever you want to call it, like it was
went
like
from 8-bit to 16-bit,
right? And new sound, like improved sound, improved graphics, save ability.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That was a great remake.
The quality of life stuff.
Yeah, quality of life stuff. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. Not that, like, the way that that's been handled, not respectful to gamers, not respectful to Square Enix fans, not respectful to Final Fantasy fans. And I mean, there's other examples out there of things like that, like, and things I just don't understand. Like, you know, early on in the Switch's life, we had Ultra Street Fighter 2 come out, right? You remember that? It was like a brand new graphics, art,
yes,
balancing everything. And then later on, they just re-released it again. They re-released another version of Street Fighter 2 again. And then now they've released Capcom Arcadium's
the
Arcade
30th
Stadium.
anniversary edition.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. GoldenEye's a great example. Like, you know, they've remade it. It looks different. It looks better. It's re-released. But at some point, I think that the gaming industry in general is going to have a very serious conversation about game preservation. And I think remakes and things figure into that, but not so much as I want to play it the way I originally played it. Like, because I love Mario All-Stars, but there's also sometimes too that I want to play the original 8-bit versions of those games because I want to hear the sounds. I want
choices need to be added. Choices,
yes,
to where
choices,
you see a lot of companies allow the ability to play it in the new version that they made, or you hit a button and it goes back to the original version of it. Like I think like Wonder
Monster
Boy
or something.
Something like that. Yeah. Did something like that where it was you could play it in the new animation version of it, or you could play it in the original animation version of it, and you know, so something along those lines where the developer takes the time to allow you to do both. And I think even the Atari games do that, where you can play the remixed version or you can go back and play the classic, you know, so
yeah. I guess what I'm saying is I think there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. I don't mind the remakes as much, but if that's all that's coming out, then we're now in a place where we have a problem. It's like, if we run out of ideas, or are we just cash grabbing it? It's
inevitable for sure.
Like one of the rumors that I've been hearing is that Atlas is working on a Persona 3 remake that kind of takes quality of life improvements from 5. And after hearing that, it kind of decentralized my want to play portable, because if I had the choice between FES and portable, I would have wanted FES. So, to me, this seems like the inferior version. So I'm like, do I really want to play this now or wait until the remake? So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you hear stuff like that, for sure. Yep. Great.
Yep. Well, guys, that's episode 411. We want to thank you for hanging with us for the whole show. And as we close the show out here, we want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, RJ Kern, Skinny Matt, and Jacqueline Amira. Thank you guys for being in at the $30 level. And thank you to all of our patrons and friends of the show over at patreon.com/NintendoDads. Head on over there if you're not a patron and join up for as little as $1 a month. You get access to the Discord and tons more stuff, and that is disturbing. Not that you're joining that. Tim has tiny hands, and it's incredibly disturbing. Anyway, you can also head over to YouTube and join up with the almost 6,700 people who follow us on YouTube. And we're nearing the 1,400 follower mark on Twitch. 18 of you over on Twitch also throw a Twitch Prime subscription our way and get access to the Discord community. So if you're a member of Amazon Prime and you've got a Twitch Prime subscription, you just have to re-up it every month. We would love for you to throw that our way too. Head over to Manscaped and use the code NINDADS, that's NINDADS, to get 20% off your order and free shipping. And be sure to check out NintendoDads.org, our website home base with all of our social feeds, videos, Extra Life campaign, our merch store, and lots more. You can find us in all the places that you are. Just type in Nintendo Dads. You can email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in like Christian and Mecca did and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. We want to say a big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. And reminder, wherever you listen to us, your podcast app of choice or your service of choice, be sure to go give us a 5-star written review. It helps people find the show. It lets people know what you like, and it generally just makes you a good person. Yep, that's right. I said it. For me, for Tim, for Jesse, for Justin and his tiny hands. No, Tim and his tiny hands. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Soundwave Superior constructed